Hi Year 11. So in this video, which is the second video on cycles, but the third video in this presentation, we're going to be looking at the carbon cycle and how carbon is recycled throughout an ecosystem. We have so far looked at the water cycle, only leaving the phosphorus and nitrogen cycles left to go. The remaining three, carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, these should be new content. The water cycle you looked at for years before. Carbon cycle should be a brand new concept. So how's carbon recycled through the ecosystem? So unlike the water cycle, we're going to actually go through what's actually happening. So carbon starts as carbon dioxide in the air. We know there's carbon dioxide in the air. There's always been carbon dioxide in the air for as long as there's been life on Earth. Plants take in that carbon dioxide, they incorporate it into their bodies during photosynthesis, and they use it to build up carbohydrates, which are going to be their source of energy. When consumers digest that plant material, they're taking that carbon that's in the plants, in the form of carbohydrates, into their own body. Now that carbon is either passed on to another consumer when that consumer is eaten, or it's exhaled back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide, because when the primary consumer is digesting the producer, there's chemical reactions taking place through digestion, as we looked at in the digestive system last topic, which are breaking down those carbohydrates into simple compounds like carbon dioxide. When an organism dies, obviously it still has all that carbon back in its body. So decomposers come along and they'll break down its body, which helps to release carbon dioxide back into the air. There are large deposits of carbon dioxide stored in fossil fuels. Now, what's happened there is millions of years ago, animals died, but they died in conditions that didn't allow decomposers to break down their body. So they might have died in a tar pit, they might have died deep underwater, etc. Basically, bacteria couldn't get to them, they couldn't break down the body. That carbon was stored under immense pressure for millions and millions of years. We've then come along, we then extract those compressed organisms, and we're burning them in excess faster than the carbon would have been released back into the atmosphere before, if it had just been broken down by decomposers. So we're actually increasing the amount that's currently happening through the carbon cycle. Very stretched image of the carbon cycle. Let's start with the atmosphere. We have carbon dioxide in the atmosphere being taken through in plants through photosynthesis. Those plants can be eaten by other animals which will respire that energy into the atmosphere, or that animal could die and be decayed into the atmosphere through carbon dioxide and decomposers. It could die, be put under the soil, and then eventually extracted by humans millions of years later, burned to fossil fuels and released back into the atmosphere that way. I'm not too fussed about the carbon dioxide exchange over here. You don't need to worry about that. It's this component here that you need to worry about. Oh, obviously burning of plants as well, but we'll talk about that in human impacts. So the main ways that humans impact the carbon cycle is through burning of fossil fuels, increasing the amount of carbon dioxide entering the atmosphere at an alarming rate, and through deforestation. So we're removing trees from the environment, which removes the source of removal of carbon dioxide, which again increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So removing, again, sort of from that cycle.